Hello, I'm Howard W. Buffett, a research scholar and professor at Columbia University's School of International and Public Affairs. I'm honored to join you today to present the award for Best Paper in Impact Measurement, as well as the award for Best Paper in ESG Standards. But first, a few words on why these topics are so important. For decades, scholars and practitioners have debated the terminology, metrics, standards, and methods for calculating and analyzing an activities or a company's or a capital allocation's potential costs and benefits to society. In other words, they've been debating ways to understand impact. The evolving practices for disclosing and assessing social and environmental impact have made tremendous progress in recent years, including newly developed frameworks and approaches such as SASB and the expanding world of ESG disclosures, the Impact Reporting and Investment Standards, the Global Reporting Initiative, IMP, Impact Rate of Return, and many others. However, such numerous approaches to measuring and understanding non-financial results and the many wide-ranging disclosure and measurement tools that have emerged over this time have also contributed to a lack of consensus that hampers the ability of organizations to adequately assess and report their impact performance. Now, having a positive or negative impact on something means different things, even in similar contexts and even within individual organizations. And this information is often disclosed and measured in many different ways. Therefore, there is still a tremendous amount of research that needs to take place to continue advancing this emerging and most critical field. Many of the papers submitted for these categories represent such work. The subject matter was diverse across numerous important topics, including the creation of a typology of global sustainable finance standards, a detailed examination of how impact investors view and value impact standardization, and how the practice of environmental screening by investors may push companies to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. However, each of today's awardees took a unique perspective on their respective categories. Today's impact measurement awardee addressed the use of life cycle assessments for renewable energy projects financed by green bonds. Their research lays out the need for a consistent, robust, and comparable standard to estimate the environmental impacts of such bonds. Here, they argue that the use of a standardized methodology could improve transparency, comparability, and confidence in green investments, something that's much needed. The authors also outline the significant utility of the life cycle assessment approach and use it to analyze a large sample of projects across numerous green bonds. Following this award reception, you will then hear from today's standards-related awardee, who took on the perspective of the industry's highly divergent approaches to ESG measurement and disclosure. These authors attempted to reduce the ambiguity around wildly differing ESG ratings and address the challenges that such inconsistencies create for decision makers. Their categorization and typology of metrics used across rating methodologies and their analysis and findings led to significantly useful research. It also lays the groundwork for additional much needed study into this topic. With that, I would like to turn it over to the categories awardees, starting with Best Paper on Impact Measurement, and then followed by the Best Paper on ESG Standards. And again, I want to congratulate each winner on their meaningful contributions to the field.
Okay, thank you very much, Howard. And thank you for introducing so well the urgency of our theme of non-financial impact measurement in sustainable finance. We are really honored to receive this prize, and we appreciate being selected to participate in the GRASFI conference. And for sure, you've done a tremendous job organizing it, and it's great to be here, let's say, virtually with you in New York. And with this prize, we want to thank our organization, the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology, for supporting this project, and also the Luxembourg National Research Fund for their funding support. As Howard mentioned, there is an urgent need in sustainable finance for more reliable impact measurement tools, and we really believe that life cycle assessment has a great potential to improve the integrity of sustainable finance and to help direct funds where they really make a difference. For sure, there is still a lot of work to be done in this field, especially in extending life cycle assessment to other financial products, but this prize motivates us to go forward. So now I will let my colleague Thomas to continue on this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you again for the honor we have with the paper. So just a few words maybe about life cycle assessment. It's a standardized method that has been used worldwide to account for evaluating environmental impacts in a holistic manner for a product or a service. But here we showed that it could be applied even from a minimal set of data for green bonds specifically from the European Investment Bank. So we showed that it's actually possible to apply the same kind of standards to have quite a good quality of results just from a minimal amount of data from the projects that the green bonds are funding, such as the size of the project funded, the location of the project, the type of the technology used. And so from that, we can actually have a pretty fine set of results. So we hope that now that we showed that the method could be picked up again in the ESG assessment field. I'm going to let the word now to Claudio, sorry.
Yeah, there's Claudio, both Claudio and Claudia on the team, so that might be confusing. Thank you. We are truly honored to receive this prize, and I want to also thank the European Investment Bank for answering our questions about their data. Sometimes when things were not clear, they were always very ready to help us. And on this point, I want to say this methodology is very is promising. I think there's, as Thomas said, there is big potential to improve the reliability of ESG measurement using life cycle assessment, but this is founded on good primary data. We need to have more standardization on the way green bonds are reported. The reporting on green bonds are made, and that's fundamental to take advantage basically of our promising methodology. So I would like to turn to Claudia for a concluding remark.
Yes, thank you. So I just want to say what a pleasure it's been to take part in this conference. I wish we could all be there in person. I think in the field of sustainable finance, it's particularly important to actually get together because we have the research is truly interdisciplinary. You have people with finance background, economics background, and then also environmental sciences, also people looking at human rights, the social component. So it's also reflected in our team with a lot of different disciplines. So I have to say, I'm really looking forward to the GRASFI conference in Beijing next year. I hope we can all actually meet in person. And so I wanted to thank the committee, also Howard and Ella for making this possible. So let me turn it back over to Ella, and thank you from all of us.
Florian.
Hi. So yeah, we are really honored that we got this prize, and we hope that this actually, our paper that looks at the different sources of divergence, that this will actually spur a lot of more research about measurement. How do we actually measure indicators, those categories? Yeah, and also about regulation. I think because we really need to get this right, and now it's time for a lot more regulators to start speaking about it. So I'm very grateful that this paper can contribute to this, and yeah, thank you again. And now Julian can actually not be on here today, but we have our second author, Roberto, and he will take over now.
Good. I also want to thank the organizers of the conference and the committee that selected us for the award. It's a real honor to be here. Our paper is kind of very related to the impact paper from Claudia, Claudio, Thomas, and Ioana, in the sense that they are proposing a methodology of how to measure things better. Our paper is complementary to that. Our paper is saying that the different methodologies of how people are measuring are producing vast dispersion, and therefore it's hard to know if you are doing good or not. So how can you tell an organization if you are doing good or not if whatever you do is going to be hard to measure? So I think it's I think as what Florian said is there has been a tremendous advancement in the and proliferation of the data providers and methodologies. I think it's time to take a stock where we are and then analyze what are the things that are missing, increase transparency such that we create institutions that we will be able to now construct indexes that are meaningful, and then there's agreement. I mean, we need for someone to say this company is good and this company is bad and this company is so-so, but there has to be an agreement on that. It cannot be the case that depending on the rater, you are good or bad. It makes no sense. If we were doing that with credit standards, we would be in a nightmare of a situation, or we will be back to 2008. So I think it's, as Florian said, measurement is an issue that I think is a first order problem right now, especially when we're moving regulation to be part of the landscape of ESG, both for investors and for asset managers, and therefore I think this is something that hopefully we can put our little grain of contribution into that discussion. So thank you again to the organizers. We are very sad that we could not be there. I was really looking forward to meet all of you, and unfortunately, given the conditions, it did not happen. Hopefully it happens next year. And hopefully we can continue intersecting our path. I think that we need to work very hard to produce something that is useful and that is has some semblance of consistency for all of us to be able to make better decisions. Again, it's a great honor to be receiving this award. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one, in the next version. Thank you.
Great. Well, as everyone can hear, we're going to turn on everyone's cameras, but a really remarkable group of authors winning their awards today. I encourage everyone who's watching this to please seek out their papers as soon as they're published and available online, and leave comments and cite them wildly as you can. It's really great progress in the field being made through this kind of research. So with that, I think we're all going to say a collective thank you and goodbye. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And again, congratulations, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Right.